Hey everybody, this is a sweaty average guy bringing you a sweaty average opinion. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it in my best Texas accent I can. This is actually about a guy. His name was Trey Junkin, one of my favorite names in history. A lot of people like me remember him. People that like football in the 1980s and the 1990s. This guy was amazing. Unfortunately, he may be remembered for something that a lot of people say it was his fault, and it wasn't. His very last play of his NFL career after 19 seasons was snapping the ball wrong on a field goal attempt in a playoff game when he played for the New York Giants. The New York Giants they brought Trey Junkin out of retirement at 41 years of age because their long snapper was hurt. And long snapping is a big deal. It is a tough skill to learn. You watch those guys, watch a football game sometime if you haven't. Those guys that got to snap the ball back to the place kickers, the holder for the place kicker, and got to snap it back all the way like 15 yards to the punter. That is a skill. And it is a skill that Trey Junkin helped perfect in the 80s and 90s. There were guys, and have been guys, that have made their living snapping the ball long. I knew a guy, met a guy, his name's Frank Wainwright. Check him out. He went to the University of North Colorado. And he played, I think, for 4 different teams. I believe the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Ravens. He was on the Ravens 2000 championship team, and the Saints. And then he ended up selling spine when I was working at orthopedics over at Stryker Orthopedics. Very nice man. He went to Pomona High School. Love the guy. Now, I'm going to try to do this entire 10-minute video in this voice, and hopefully it doesn't annoy you too much. But I just want to go into a character. I don't even know what I'm calling myself. But I want to do a ballad of Trey Junkin. Now, I don't know if the music's going to match up, because as you know, I don't put a lot of effort into these things. But I thought about this man, Trey Junkin. What a great name. His real name is actually Abner. Check that out. I'm reading his Wikipedia page. And anyone who thinks they can tell him what, or now, or who, or bene, should go straight, jump off a lake, or in a lake, off of something into a lake. I don't know, but let me tell you this. When you have a Wikipedia page about you, then maybe you can talk some smack. That's what I'm saying. So, Trey Junkin, born Abner Kirk Junkin III. In where is he born? Oh, I had it. Oh, he played Northeast High School in North Little Rock, Arkansas. I do not have where he was born, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. He was born in 1961, so he's a few years older than me. He just celebrated his 60th birthday. And like I told you at the outset of this little tale, he was vilified because they brought him out of retirement and he snapped the ball wrong. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this game. It was New York Giants, and they were playing, I believe it was the San Francisco 49ers in 2002 in a playoff game. Now, the Giants had a 38-14 lead in this game, and they somehow blew the lead. And Trey Junkin had to come out, and they had to try to make a field goal at the end of the game to pull out the win. Now, Trey Junkin unfortunately snapped the ball badly. The holder for the ball is usually a quarterback, and I believe this guy was a backup quarterback, and he ended up scrambling because he couldn't get the ball down in time for the kicker to try the kick, and he threw it, and it fell incomplete. However, the receiver was well interfered with, but they did not call it. Unfortunately, they did call the Giants for a illegal man downfield. The Giants lost the ball, and later the game. So, did Trey Junkin really deserve it? I don't think so. It's a team game. He was 41 years old. But here is the ballad of Trey Junkin. I don't really have good music for it, but I'm just going to try to sing along with this slow, slow jam. Trey Junkin, he was born in 1961. His life sounds like a lot of fun, but you gotta understand that when he played the game, many men were pulled up lame. I'm making this up as I go along, so I really appreciate your patience. 80s, 90s, tough game. People coming out, like I said, all lame. People getting cancer. Why? Because they decided to stick a big needle in their thigh full of steroids to compete. He was a big man, 6'2", 245. Played the game like his hair was on fire, like he didn't even want to be alive. Check it out, all the teams that he was on. He was on the Bills and the Redskins and the Raiders twice, the Seattle Seahawks and the Cowboys. Ain't that nice? Then he ended his career with the Giants in that game. Like I said, he's probably still lame, probably limping his way around at 60 years old. That's how tough the game was as he watched it unfold. So, What else should I have to say about Trey Junkin? I don't know. But those men were warriors. And that's why I watched them so much when I was a teenager and a young adult. They were my heroes. So Trey Junkin, I salute you. I don't know how to talk another 5 minutes about you, but I will try to make a rhyme about this guy. He played at Louisiana Tech University, and now he coaches his son down there too. He also was a coach. Check this out. He coached up in Canada. He coached the Calgary Stampeders right after that debacle in 2002 with the Giants. It says after a short stint with the Stampeders, he rejoined his family in Winfield, Louisiana, and he's a defensive coordinator for his son's high school team, the Winfield Senior High Tigers. He is also brother of former NFL linebacker Mike Junkin. Now, I don't know, maybe I could have written this ballad better, but I hope you're enjoying the music. I hope you enjoyed the football of the 1980s and 1990s. I know I did, and the 70s. I remember my first game. Women weren't allowed to the game in 1975. Let me tell you something. I was 8 years old. My daddy brought me to see the Raiders versus the Broncos at the old Mile High Stadium. And it was a good game. The Broncos were starting to come into their own. They were 2 years away from a Super Bowl. They're starting to get a little feisty with the owners of that AFC West division, the Chiefs and the Raiders. Now, I was excited. I'd never been to a real game before, but there was nothing but men there. Let me tell you something. Very few women were there because the men acted horribly. I remember there was a Raiders fan in the middle of everybody, and he'd just stand up, real skinny, tough guy, and would just start screaming at the field, at the refs, and at the Raiders. And he looked like Charles Manson, so nobody told him to shut the fuck up. All right, so what happened at the game? Broncos went up 17-7 at half. All right, looking pretty good. They lost 42-17. Got outscored 35-0 in the second half on their home turf. And my dad said he'd never like the Broncos again. I don't know why he still hates them, but he does, and that's my dad. So, who else should we talk about? Maybe we should talk about Floyd Little. He's one of my favorite players. He was bow-legged. He wore 44. I believe is the first or second number that the Broncos retired. If any of you don't know the Broncos, 3 numbers they retired were 18 for Frank Tripuccio. They will also retire it for Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning wanted to wear it and went to Frank Tripuccio and asked him, "Hey, can I wear number 18? Frank Tripuccio said, "Yeah, hell yeah, you can wear my number 18. You're a hell of an 18. Let's retire it from both of us." And anyway, back to Floyd Little. He wore 44. And I have his jersey, and I love him, and he is an underdog, and he finally got into the Hall of Fame on a late ballot a few years ago, and unfortunately died this year, either New Year's Eve or I believe January 1st of this year. Wonderful man, an underdog story, and just a beautiful story, and the second number, I believe, to be retired by the Broncos, and then, of course, our third number was number 7, our beloved John Elway, who also walks with a limp, and for some reason still chews tobacco. Now, I may sound like I chew tobacco, but I don't chew tobacco because why? It just goes right through your lip. Ladies don't want to kiss you. Your teeth turn brown and your gums get cancer. So don't do it. Don't smoke either. My daddy smoked. He still smokes. And I wish he'd stop, but he won't. So just don't do any of those stupid tobacco-based things because they're bad for you. All right, I got about 80 seconds to kill. Oh, let's talk a little bit more about Floyd Little. He went to Syracuse. He was one of my favorite players. I always liked Syracuse University. I dreamt about going there, even though I'm from Texas. I didn't want to go to UT or TA&M. I wanted to go to Syracuse University in northern New York. Yeah, that's right, because I like that orange and blue. I like orange and blue. I like the Syracuse Orangemen. I like the New York Mets. I like the New York Islanders. I like the Denver Ding Dang Broncos. Let me tell you, I don't know where I'm going with this. But luckily, I only got 45 seconds to fill. It's like having a mic in front of a comedy stage and not knowing what the hell you're going to say. It's like an open mic. I'm sorry for you that you had to deal with this. And it's probably pretty loud and pretty country. But hey, here we are. That music really didn't fit this thing. But I wanted to do a ballad of Trey Junkin. Maybe next time I'll write it out a little better. But Trey Junkin, Floyd Little, even John Elway. All the old school guys that took a beating for our entertainment and will on average die 15 to 20 years before the average man. That's a fact. Because of all the pills they had to take and the abuse their bodies took, all for our entertainment. I salute you all. God bless the NFL. God bless Floyd Little. And God bless Trey Junkin. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Have a good evening. Bye.